There is a whisper in the wind that calls to the soul. It asks softly but surely, what have you placed around you? Because what surrounds you soon becomes what is within you. The walls you look at, the voices you listen to, the spaces you rest in, they all begin to shape the rhythm of your days and the echo of your heart. We live in a world where noise has become the language of the lost, and peace is often buried under the weight of too much, too soon, too loud. But the truth, sweet and still, is that you hold the brush that paints your world. You are the curator of your own environment. You are the designer of the life that nourishes or drains you. There is beauty in being selective. There is power in choosing silence over chaos, grace over clutter, people who lift over those who pull. Every soul needs a sanctuary, a place where the spirit can stretch, breathe, and remember who it is. Sometimes that sanctuary is not made of bricks or wood, but of moments and choices. It is found in the morning light that falls gently on your window, in the song that steadies your heartbeat, in the friendship that knows your pain but still believes in your light. When you begin to guard your space, you begin to guard your peace. And when peace grows roots within you, it changes the way you walk, the way you love, the way you dream. It takes courage to rearrange your world, to move the pieces of your life until they fit the rhythm of your soul, to say no to what once looked like joy but was only noise in disguise, to say yes to simplicity, to calm, to truth. Many will not understand your silence, your solitude, or your slow pace, but you must understand yourself enough to keep going. You must know that designing a life that nourishes you is not selfish, it is sacred. Because when you are whole, the world receives the best of you, not the rest of you. Let your room breathe. Let your circle shrink until only kindness fits. Let your table host peace, your mind host gratitude, your heart host forgiveness. The things and people you keep are not just companions, they are teachers. If they make you small, step away. If they remind you of your light, stay. The world will try to tell you that to be full, you must have more. But wisdom knows that fullness is not found in what we collect, but in what we choose to release. Curating your environment is an act of self-respect. It is the art of living with intention. It is learning to sit in the quiet and hear the truth of your own breath. It is making room for beauty that feeds the soul instead of distractions that starve it. When you design a life that nourishes you, you design a world that whispers peace into every weary heart that meets you. There is a quiet power in the spaces we inhabit, a force that moves subtly yet profoundly through every corner of our lives. When you walk into a room, it does not simply greet you with walls and windows. It whispers stories of intention, care, and purpose. The air we breathe, the light that touches our skin, the sounds that rise and fall around us, they all speak to us in a language older than time. Our surroundings shape the rhythm of our thoughts, the weight of our moods, and the pulse of our actions. If your environment is heavy with clutter, chaos, or discord, your mind will carry the same burden. If it is filled with light, calm, and gentle reminders of beauty, your spirit will dance with the same grace. We often underestimate the intimacy between space and soul, but the truth is that what we choose to surround ourselves with is the first brushstroke in the painting of our lives. Consider the people with whom you spend your days. Are they lifting you or are they wearing you down? Are their words like seeds planted in fertile soil, encouraging growth, or are they stones dropped on the fragile ground of your confidence? Just as walls and furniture shape the feel of a room, relationships mold the shape of your inner world. When you allow negativity, criticism, or judgment into your close circle, you do not merely tolerate it, you breathe it in. It becomes part of the rhythm of your life, echoing in the corners of your mind, shadowing the brightness of your potential. But when you choose companions who celebrate your victories, soothe your fears, and mirror your best self, your environment becomes a garden where your spirit can flourish. Even the smallest details matter. A single photograph, a piece of art, a plant breathing life into a corner, or sunlight spilling across a table in the morning can speak to you in ways words never will. Our senses are conduits of energy, absorbing the tone and texture of our environment, shaping the way we think, feel, and respond. Surround yourself with things that lift your heart, that remind you of who you are and who you aspire to be. The clutter of old objects, the presence of reminders of regret, or even the constant hum of distraction steals from your inner harmony. Letting go of these things is not mere tidying. It is an act of self-respect, a declaration that your spirit deserves space to expand, breathe, and rise. The mind is a mirror of its surroundings. If the space around you is chaotic, your thoughts will scatter like leaves in a storm. If it is calm, intentional, and nourished by beauty, your thoughts will settle, allowing clarity and creativity to emerge. This is why curating your environment is not an optional luxury, it is a foundational act of self-care. It teaches you that the life you live externally influences the life you live internally. When your surroundings resonate with peace, purpose, and possibility, your mind begins to echo those qualities, and your actions naturally align with your highest intentions. Time, too, is part of your environment. How you spend it, with whom, and for what purpose becomes the invisible architecture of your life. Choosing to invest your hours with people and pursuits that inspire, educate, and nourish you is as crucial as choosing what fills your physical space. Every moment allowed to negativity, distraction, or drain becomes part of the fabric of your day, stitching patterns of fatigue, doubt, or frustration. But when time is curated with the same care as space, when attention is given to what truly matters, the life that emerges is rich, intentional, and full of light. Curating your environment requires courage because it asks you to confront what no longer serves you. It asks you to step away from comfort zones, to release attachments to what is familiar but toxic. It asks you to choose intentionally, even when the world does not understand, even when voices outside tell you that your path is selfish or unnecessary. Yet in this courage lies freedom. Freedom to walk into a room and feel at ease. Freedom to open your mind without the weight of chaos pressing down. Freedom to let your spirit grow in harmony with your surroundings. Begin today with awareness. Look around the spaces you inhabit and ask silently, gently, does this nourish me? Look at the people in your life and wonder, do they uplift me? Look at the hours of your days and question, am I investing in what makes me whole? These reflections are not judgments, they are invitations. Invitations to align your outer world with your inner truth, to allow your environment to speak the language of your soul. And when you do, you will find that every step, every breath, every thought becomes lighter, clearer, more radiant. You begin to walk not just through space, but through a life designed to nourish, to heal, and to inspire. And in the quiet beauty of such alignment, you will know that the life you create around you is the life you have always carried within. There is a subtle weight that clings to our lives, a weight that is not always visible, but is felt deeply in the rhythm of our days. It is the weight of what we carry, of the clutter and chaos that we allow into our minds, our homes, and our hearts. Clutter is not just the piles of things that gather in corners. It is the unfinished tasks, the old regrets, the words left unsaid, the relationships that drain rather than uplift. It is the noise that drowns the gentle whisper of our intuition, and the rush that steals the calm from our spirits. We live in a world that constantly encourages accumulation, as if having more will somehow fill the hollow spaces within us. But the truth is that the life that nourishes us is not found in excess, but in clarity, in simplicity, in the deliberate act of letting go. Decluttering is not a chore. It is a sacred act, a declaration that we will no longer carry what does not serve our growth or peace. Every object, every thought, and every person that lingers in our environment leaves an imprint on our energy. The chair where no one sits, the unopened letters, the old clothes gathering dust, they all speak to us in silence, reminding us of unfinished stories and neglected spaces. The mind absorbs these signals, and over time, the weight of neglect can manifest as restlessness, fatigue, or even sadness. Our surroundings are mirrors, reflecting the state of our hearts and the shape of our intentions. To remove clutter is not to reject life, but to honor it. It is to make room for the new, the vibrant, the life giving experiences that have been waiting patiently for our attention. In the act of clearing away, we clear space for clarity, for focus, for the gentle unfolding of our potential. But decluttering is not limited to the physical. Emotional clutter, the unprocessed pain, resentment, and fear, fills the heart in ways that are heavier than any object. We hold on to grudges, replay old conversations, and carry the weight of what could have been. These invisible burdens create shadows in our lives, dimming the light of joy and slowing the pulse of hope. Letting go of emotional clutter is an act of courage. It means forgiving not only others but ourselves, releasing the narratives that no longer serve the story we wish to live. It means choosing the weight of presence over the weight of memory, choosing the lightness of possibility over the heaviness of what is past. Relationships can be both sanctuary and storm. Those that drain our energy, that speak in criticism more than encouragement, that demand more than they give, are the clutter of the human heart. They linger because of familiarity, fear, or obligation. Yet to allow them to remain is to choose stagnation over growth. Curating a nourishing life means sometimes stepping away, not with anger or shame, but with the quiet dignity of self-respect. It means surrounding yourself with voices that elevate, hearts that support, and souls that resonate with the beauty within you. Every connection that drains must be examined, every lingering tie must be questioned, and every choice must be made in service of your peace and purpose. Time, the most precious resource we possess, is another form of clutter when mismanaged. Hours spent in distraction, in endless scrolling, in noise without meaning, accumulate quietly until life feels scattered and fragmented. To declutter time is to prioritize the sacred, to invest in experiences, thoughts, and people that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. It is to choose depth over breadth, quality over quantity, intention over habit. The spaces you create in your schedule are as important as the spaces you create in your home and heart. They allow you to breathe, to reflect, and to step into each day fully alive. There is a profound liberation in the act of letting go. It is as if the soul exhales after holding its breath too long, as if the heart finds room to expand after being constricted. When we clear away the clutter, we reclaim energy, we reclaim focus, we reclaim joy. The world can be loud and insistent, but a decluttered life whispers of peace, of purpose, and of potential. It reminds us that our days are ours to shape, our minds are ours to fill, our hearts are ours to nourish. Begin with small steps, for the act of letting go is not always swift. Pick a corner, a thought, a relationship, and ask gently whether it serves the life you wish to live. Release what does not, make space. Listen to the silence that fills the gaps and let it guide you toward clarity. And as the clutter falls away, you will feel lighter, freer, more in harmony with yourself and with the life you are creating. In letting go of what drains you, you are not losing, you are gaining the room to thrive, the space to grow, and the life that was always meant for you. The people who surround us are like the soil in which our spirit takes root. They are the air we breathe, the sunlight that warms us, and the water that nourishes the seeds of our dreams. If the soil is poor, the sunlight dim, or the water tainted, even the most vibrant seeds struggle to grow. Life teaches us that our energy is finite, our attention precious, and our hearts vulnerable. When we spend our days with those who lift us, inspire us, and remind us of our potential, we become stronger, brighter, and more aligned with the life we are meant to live. But when we linger in the company of those who drain, criticize, or diminish our light, even the smallest task becomes heavy, and the joy of living dims like a candle in the wind. The choice of companions is not trivial. It is an act of intentionality, a declaration that your life deserves nourishment, not erosion. We often underestimate the subtle influence of others, believing that our inner strength is enough to withstand negativity. Yet human connection is powerful. Words spoken, gestures given, even silence shared carry weight. Each interaction leaves a trace on our spirit. The laughter of a true friend can revive a weary heart, while constant criticism can chip away at confidence over time. Those who celebrate our victories, even when small, cultivate courage within us. Those who challenge us with love and wisdom expand our understanding and push us closer to the best version of ourselves. Surrounding ourselves with such people is not merely comforting. It is transformative. The energy of those around us can either amplify our light or dim it. Toxic relationships, though sometimes disguised as familiarity or obligation, act like shadows that creep into the corners of our lives. They whisper doubt, incite fear, and cultivate insecurity. They ask us to shrink, to compromise, and to forget our worth. Yet it is possible to step away without bitterness, to release what does not serve our growth, and to make space for what nurtures it. Choosing carefully who we spend time with is not selfish, it is self-respect. It is the acknowledgement that our heart, mind, and soul deserve sustenance as much as any plant deserves sunlight. Equally important are the people who inspire us silently. Those who live with integrity, kindness, and purpose teach without preaching. Their presence alone is a lesson in courage, compassion, and resilience. Observing them, learning from their choices, and letting their energy mingle with ours enriches our own journey. Just as a garden thrives when the right seeds water and sunlight converge, our lives flourish when we surround ourselves with souls whose values and vision harmonize with our own. This does not mean seeking perfection or avoiding all discomfort, for growth often comes from challenge, but it does mean prioritizing connection that uplifts rather than diminishes. Community is not just a network of people, it is an ecosystem of influence. It is in this ecosystem that our dreams find oxygen and our ambitions find momentum. The right companions offer perspective when we are blinded by doubt, encouragement when we are weakened by fear, and reflection when our path becomes unclear. They remind us of our light when the world seems determined to shadow it. They hold us accountable with kindness and celebrate with unreserved joy when we succeed. Every moment spent in the presence of such souls deepens our understanding of our own potential and our capacity to give love, grace, and courage to the world. Choosing your circle also means acknowledging the power of absence. It means recognizing when someone's presence no longer serves, when a bond has shifted from nurturing to draining, and having the courage to step back. It is a lesson in discernment and trust in the flow of life. Letting go of energy that diminishes you makes room for the connections that amplify your spirit. Just as a gardener prunes branches to allow sunlight to reach the roots, we prune relationships to allow our potential to bloom fully. As you curate your environment, pay attention to the subtle currents of energy that flow around you. Observe how certain people make your heart lighter, your mind clearer, and your purpose sharper. Notice who drains your peace, sows doubt, or diminishes your courage. Make conscious choices to cultivate relationships that nourish, inspire, and challenge you toward your highest self. In doing so, you create an environment where your soul can thrive, where your dreams are encouraged to grow, and where your spirit can rise without restraint. And when your circle reflects care, wisdom, and love, you will find that your life, like a well-tended garden, blooms effortlessly, carrying within it the beauty and strength that come from being surrounded by those who lift you higher. There is a quiet magic in the rituals and spaces we create for ourselves, a magic that nourishes the mind, body, and soul in ways that the world cannot always provide. Our days are filled with endless motion, obligations, and distractions, yet it is in the deliberate pauses, the sacred routines, and the carefully tended spaces that we discover the rhythm of our own hearts. When we cultivate habits that honor our well-being, we invite balance, clarity, and purpose into our lives. These rituals are not mere routines, they are acts of devotion to ourselves, whispers of love and respect for the life we are building. They tell the world, and more importantly, ourselves, that our spirit matters, that our peace matters, that our growth matters. Consider the spaces you inhabit each day. The corner where you read, the table where you eat, the room where you rest, they all carry energy and intention. When these spaces are cared for, organized, and filled with elements that bring joy and comfort, they become extensions of your inner world. They act as safe harbors where your mind can settle, where creativity can flourish, and where the burdens of the outside world cannot intrude. A space designed with care is a sanctuary. It is a place where you can return to yourself, recalibrate your energy, and remember your worth. In the simplicity of order, there is freedom. In the presence of beauty, there is inspiration. In the stillness of intentional space, there is restoration. Rituals, much like spaces, are the heartbeat of a nourishing life. They are the small, consistent actions that remind us who we are and what we value. It could be a morning spent in reflection, a walk that clears the mind, a few moments of gratitude before sleep, or the simple act of preparing a meal with care. These practices, though seemingly ordinary, have extraordinary power. They anchor us, provide rhythm to our days, and create a container in which our potential can grow. In a world that rushes forward without pause, cultivating rituals is a declaration that we will honor our time, energy, and well-being. But these rituals and spaces are not static. They evolve as we evolve, reflecting the growth of our spirit and the changes in our needs. What nourished us yesterday may no longer serve us today, and recognizing this is an act of courage and self-awareness. It requires reflection, honesty, and the willingness to let go of habits or arrangements that no longer align with our highest good. It is in this ongoing process of refinement, of tending to our inner and outer environments, that we learn the delicate art of self-care and intentional living. Each adjustment, each thoughtful choice, strengthens the bridge between our external environment and our inner life. Time, too, must be curated with intention. The hours we allow ourselves to claim as sacred are as vital as the physical spaces we inhabit. Scheduling moments for reflection, creativity, rest, and connection ensures that our energy is replenished rather than drained. By designing a day with care, we shape not only the quality of our experiences, but the quality of our being. We are reminded that our lives are not meant to be lived on autopilot, swept along by circumstance, but rather to be crafted with deliberate attention to what feeds the soul. Each intentional moment, no matter how small, contributes to a life that feels whole, vibrant, and deeply satisfying. Surrounding ourselves with elements that inspire and nurture is another form of intentionality. Books that expand our minds, art that awakens our hearts, music that lifts our spirits, plants that breathe life into our surroundings. Each contributes to an environment that fuels growth and joy. The curation of these elements is an expression of love for ourselves, a recognition that the quality of our environment directly influences the quality of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. When beauty, meaning, and care populate our surroundings, we are reminded daily of our worth and our capacity to thrive. In designing rituals and spaces that nourish us, we also cultivate resilience. We build environments where our mind can find clarity amidst chaos, our heart can find calm amidst turmoil, and our spirit can find courage amidst uncertainty. These intentional choices create a foundation from which we can engage with the world fully, respond to challenges with grace, and embrace opportunities with confidence. They remind us that our well-being is not incidental, it is a priority, a responsibility, and a gift. And when our days are filled with spaces that breathe calm, rituals that honor our being, and moments that nourish the soul, we discover that life itself becomes a gentle teacher. It shows us that in tending to our environment and our habits, we are tending to ourselves, and in tending to ourselves, we create the life we were always meant to live. Time and attention are the most precious currencies we possess. They are fleeting, invisible, and once spent, impossible to reclaim. Yet, so often, we scatter them carelessly, giving our energy to what diminishes us, our focus to what drains us, and our presence to what does not honor the essence of who we are. To guard our time fiercely is to guard our life itself. Every decision about where to place our attention, whom to be with, and how to spend our hours shapes the reality we live. When we allow distractions, obligations, and the expectations of others to dictate our days, we lose touch with the rhythm of our own hearts, and our spirit becomes fragmented. But when we choose intentionally, when we say yes to what matters and no to what does not, we create a life that nourishes, uplifts, and aligns with our deepest values. The practice of guarding your time begins with awareness. It is a conscious act of noticing how each moment, is spent in questioning whether it serves your growth, peace, and purpose. We live in a world that glorifies business, yet business is not a measure of worth, nor is constant motion a sign of productivity. True power lies in discerning what deserves your energy and what should be released. It is in the careful selection of how we invest ourselves that we reclaim control over our lives. When you protect your time, you are telling the universe and yourself that your life is sacred, that your mind and heart are not disposable, and that your potential is worth tending with intention. Saying no is an act of courage and clarity. It is the recognition that not everything deserves entry into your life. Not every demand, expectation, or request aligns with your purpose or nurtures your well-being. Saying no is not rejection of others, but an affirmation of self. It is a boundary set with love, a shield raised to protect the garden of your spirit. Each no creates space for a yes that matters, for moments that feed your soul, for connections that inspire and energize. It is in these intentional refusals that we discover the freedom to design a life that truly reflects our values. Attention is like sunlight, and it nurtures whatever it falls upon. When we focus on what drains us, we grow fatigue, frustration, and doubt. When we focus on what nourishes us, we cultivate strength, clarity, and hope. Guarding your time is inseparable from guarding your attention. The people we spend hours with, the media we consume, the thoughts we entertain, all of these shape the soil in which our spirit grows. By choosing carefully, by prioritizing that which aligns with our growth, we ensure that our energy is spent on building rather than eroding, on creating rather than surviving. Guarding your time is also about creating rhythm in your days. It is recognizing the moments when your mind and body need rest, reflection, and renewal. It is about honoring cycles of energy and not forcing yourself into a pace dictated by others. In this rhythm lies balance. In balance lies clarity. And in clarity, we find the courage to act, the wisdom to choose, and the grace to let go of what no longer serves us. Every pause, every moment claimed for reflection or stillness is a reclaiming of power, a reclaiming of life itself. Often we hesitate to protect our time because we fear judgment, conflict, or missing out. Yet the cost of neglecting it is far greater than any discomfort in saying no or stepping back. When we allow our lives to be dictated by external pressures, we sacrifice our inner harmony, our vision, and our ability to thrive. To guard your time fiercely is to honor your purpose. It is to recognize that the quality of your hours directly shapes the quality of your life. It is a statement that you will not allow your spirit to be diluted by what does not matter, and that you will invest your days in what uplifts, educates, and inspires. In this act of vigilance, we cultivate presence. When we are fully present in our choices, in our work, in our relationships, we engage with life more deeply and authentically. Time, once guarded, becomes a wellspring of possibility. It allows us to explore, create, connect, and grow. It becomes the canvas upon which we paint the life that reflects who we truly are. The discipline of protecting our hours, attention, and energy is not a limitation. It is liberation. It frees us to live intentionally, to shape our environment, and to surround ourselves with what nourishes and sustains us. And in fiercely guarding the most precious resource you possess, you create a life that flows with purpose, radiates clarity, and blossoms with the fullness that comes from honoring yourself and the sacred gift of time. There is a subtle yet profound truth that surrounds us every day. The energy, beauty, and meaning we allow into our lives becomes the nourishment for our mind, body, and soul. The spaces we inhabit, the objects we touch, the sights we behold, and the words we hear, all of these leave an imprint on our consciousness. They shape the quality of our thoughts, the tone of our emotions, and the way we engage with the world. It is not simply what we do that matters, but what we surround ourselves with that feeds or drains us. To fill your environment with beauty, gratitude, and purpose is to create a life that nurtures your spirit, awakens your creativity, and aligns your inner self with the outer world. When you choose carefully what enters your life, you are not merely arranging objects or ideas. You are curating an ecosystem that sustains and uplifts the very essence of who you are. Beauty is more than aesthetics. It is the quiet grace that awakens our hearts and reminds us of the wonder in the world. A sunlit corner, the soft texture of fabric, a painting that captures the depth of human emotion, or the gentle presence of nature. These are all forms of beauty that feed the soul. When our environment is imbued with beauty, our minds relax, our creativity flourishes, and our spirits expand. We begin to notice subtleties, to listen more deeply, to respond with gentleness and care. Beauty has the power to shift our perspective, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary ones, and reminding us that life, when tended with attention and intention, can be radiant and full of meaning. Gratitude is another vital ingredient in a nourishing environment. When we surround ourselves with reminders of what we are thankful for, a journal of daily reflections, photographs of cherished memories, tokens of achievements or kindness, we create a space where joy and appreciation are amplified. Gratitude shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to celebration. It allows us to notice the small miracles that often go unseen and cultivates a heart that is expansive rather than confined. The environment we create with gratitude in mind becomes a mirror of our inner world, reflecting back the richness and generosity that resides within us. Purpose, too, must be woven into the fabric of our surroundings. Every object, every habit, and every relationship in our life carries potential for intentionality. When we intentionally align our environment with our values and goals, we cultivate momentum, clarity, and inspiration. A workspace arranged to encourage focus and creativity, a home that reflects the principles we hold dear, and a schedule that prioritizes growth and reflection, all of these contribute to a life lived with purpose. Purpose gives our environment direction. It transforms ordinary spaces into sanctuaries of intention, where each element supports and strengthens our journey toward our highest self. But the act of filling our environment with beauty, gratitude, and purpose requires discernment. Not everything that appears pleasing or convenient serves our growth. Some things bring only distraction, heaviness, or unease. To curate a life that truly nourishes, we must look carefully at what we allow to remain, to enter, or to influence us. Objects that clutter, words that wound, activities that drain, these must be released with courage and clarity. In doing so, we create breathing room for what enriches, inspires, and sustains us. The art of selection is a daily practice, a commitment to tending our inner garden through the spaces and energies we invite into our outer world. Surrounding ourselves with nourishment is also about relationships. The people we welcome into our lives carry energy that can either uplift or deplete. Choose companions who reflect kindness, honesty, curiosity, and love. Engage with those who celebrate your victories, challenge you constructively, and offer perspective when your vision blurs. Every conversation, every shared moment leaves a subtle mark on the spirit. By curating connections with those who inspire and energize, we ensure that our emotional and mental environment remains fertile, supportive, and sustaining. The smallest details matter more than we often realize. A single photograph, a piece of music, a favorite book, or a carefully tended plant can ignite joy and presence in ways that ripple through every aspect of our lives. The accumulation of thoughtful, intentional, and nourishing elements creates a holistic environment that supports resilience, focus, and inner peace. Our surroundings become a reflection of the care we give ourselves, and in turn reinforce the best parts of who we are. When beauty, gratitude, and purpose fill your life, they form a powerful ecosystem for the soul. Each day becomes an opportunity to engage with life fully, to cultivate joy, to deepen awareness, and to grow with intention. The environment you create is more than a backdrop. It is the foundation for a life that feeds your spirit, sharpens your clarity, and amplifies your light. And when your surroundings reflect these values, you will find that every thought, every action, and every breath is infused with the nourishment that allows you to rise fully into the life you were always meant to live. Designing a life that reflects your deepest values is one of the most profound acts of self-love and courage. It asks us to look honestly at our desires, our priorities, and the world around us. It asks us to align what we believe with the way we live, to bring coherence between the inner landscape of our hearts and the outer expression of our days. Too often, we allow society's expectations, the opinions of others, or the habits of convenience to dictate the shape of our lives. We conform, we adapt, and we settle, forgetting that the life we inhabit is ours to mold, ours to curate, and ours to nourish. To design a life that mirrors our values is to step into our power, to honor our essence, and to create an existence that sustains us at every level of being. Our environment, physical, emotional, and social, is the canvas upon which our values take form. Every choice we make, from the people we spend time with to the spaces we inhabit, is a brushstroke in this painting of life. When we fill our surroundings with objects, rituals, and companions that reflect our principles, we create an ecosystem that nurtures, inspires, and reinforces who we are at the core. If we value peace, then our home becomes a sanctuary, a place where clutter, noise, and chaos are minimized. If we value learning, our days are surrounded by books, ideas, and conversations that challenge and expand us. If we value compassion, our relationships and actions mirror empathy, understanding, and generosity. The life we design is a reflection of what we hold sacred, and when we cultivate it intentionally, it nourishes both our spirit and the lives we touch. Living in alignment with our values requires courage, for it often asks us to step away from the familiar or the expected. It demands that we release routines, relationships, or obligations that no longer serve our higher purpose. Many fear the emptiness that comes with letting go, yet it is in this space that true growth emerges. When we remove what conflicts with our values, we create room for clarity, joy, and authenticity. This act of curation is not about perfection or isolation. It is about creating harmony between what we believe and what we practice. It is about reclaiming the authority to live on our own terms and shaping a reality that feeds the soul rather than depletes it. The external world mirrors our internal choices. When we live aligned with our values, we notice a shift in the way we experience life. Tasks that once felt burdensome gain meaning. Moments that were mundane become opportunities for presence, and challenges are met with resilience and grace. Our decisions carry the weight of purpose, and our days are filled with intention rather than inertia. This alignment fosters confidence, inner peace, and a sense of fulfillment that cannot be manufactured by external validation or fleeting achievements. When our environment supports our principles, we are less likely to be swayed by noise, distraction, or societal pressure. We stand firm in our truth, guided by the compass of what truly matters to us. Values also shape the energy we allow into our lives. Just as clutter, negativity, and toxicity drain our spirit, a life built on alignment attracts support, inspiration, and vitality. People who resonate with our principles naturally gravitate toward us, conversations deepen, and connections flourish. Our environment becomes fertile ground for creativity, learning, and joy. Each choice, consciously made, strengthens the architecture of a life that reflects not only who we are, but who we aspire to be. The cumulative effect of these intentional choices is a life that feels coherent, purposeful, and profoundly satisfying. To design a life that reflects our values is to embrace the art of intentional living. It requires awareness of our surroundings, the courage to release what no longer serves, and the commitment to nurture what sustains and elevates us. It means saying yes to what aligns with our highest intentions and no to what distracts, diminishes, or drains. Every moment becomes an opportunity to reinforce our principles, to act with integrity, and to engage with the world in a way that mirrors the truth of our hearts. The beauty of living in alignment is that it is self-reinforcing. As our environment, routines, and relationships reflect our values, our sense of purpose deepens. We become resilient in the face of adversity, clear in the face of confusion, and joyful in the midst of life's ordinary moments. We create a life that sustains us, a life that inspires others, and a life that speaks of intentionality, authenticity, and grace. And when you finally stand in a life that reflects your values, you will discover that nourishment, peace, and fulfillment are not distant dreams, but the natural result of choosing consciously, living intentionally, and surrounding yourself with what truly matters. As we bring our journey to a close, remember this: the life you live is a reflection of the spaces you inhabit, the people you embrace, and the choices you make each day. Curating your environment is not a one-time act, it is a daily commitment to yourself, a sacred promise to nourish your mind, heart, and soul. When you surround yourself with beauty, intention, and purpose, when you protect your time, honor your values, and cultivate relationships that uplift, you create a life that breathes peace, clarity, and joy. It is a life where your spirit can flourish, where your dreams can grow, and where your presence in the world becomes a gift not only to yourself but to everyone you touch. Step forward with courage, take charge of your surroundings, and design a life that reflects the truth of who you are. Trust in the process, embrace the small changes, and celebrate every step toward a life that nourishes you. Your environment is a canvas, your choices the colors, and your heart the guiding hand. Paint boldly, live intentionally, and let your life shine as a testament to your love for yourself and the world around you. Good luck on this journey of creation and care. Thank you for listening, for reflecting, and for taking the first steps toward a life that truly sustains and uplifts you.
Good morning, beloved. The wind does not ask permission to blow, and the river does not beg to flow. They do what they were made to do, and so must you. Destiny is not a locked door waiting for someone else to bring you the key. It is not written in ink that cannot be changed. No, destiny is a river, and you are the captain of the boat. Where you steer, where you push, where you row, that is where your future will go. Life will throw storms your way. The rain will fall and the winds will howl, trying to knock you off course. But I tell you today, do not fear the storm. Become the storm. Stand strong. Speak boldly. Walk with a spine made of steel and a heart wrapped in love. Some will doubt you. Some will say, you are not enough. But I have seen mountains move. I have seen flowers bloom in the cracks of concrete. And I have seen the smallest voices shake the world. You are more than enough. You were born with a purpose, and no one, no man, no woman, no storm can take that away from you. Beloved, I want you to hear me today. You are not a leaf, helpless against the wind. You are not a ship lost at sea, tossed by the waves with no say in where you go. No, you are more than that. You are the maker of your own path, the writer of your own story, and the sculptor of your own destiny. Choice is the most powerful gift you have been given. It is a fire that burns within you, waiting to be used. And every day, from the moment you rise, you are faced with choices. Some as small as what words you speak, some as large as what direction your life will take. But do not be fooled into thinking the small choices do not matter. Oh, they do. The way you greet the morning, the way you treat a stranger, the way you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. These are the stones that pave the road of your destiny. You may not control the storms that come, but you always control how you stand in the rain. There will be days when doubt will knock on your door, whispering, you are not strong enough. There will be moments when fear will sit beside you, trying to convince you that it is safer to stay where you are than to step into the unknown. But hear me when I tell you, fear is a liar. You have the power to choose courage over fear, to choose love over hate, to choose hope over despair. And yes, there will be times when life will make choices for you, times when doors will close, when people will leave, when plans will crumble. But even in those moments, you still have a choice. You can choose to give up, to let the weight of the world press you down, or you can choose to rise. You can choose to take that closed door as a sign that a better one is waiting just ahead. So I ask you today, what will you choose? Will you choose to be afraid, or will you choose to be bold? Will you choose to stay silent, or will you choose to speak your truth? Will you choose to wait for life to happen, or will you choose to take hold of your future with both hands and shape it into something magnificent? Because in the end, your destiny is not something written in the stars, untouchable and unchangeable. No, your destiny is in your hands. And every choice you make, every step you take, is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. My dear ones, let me tell you something today. Life will test you. It will push you, bend you, and at times it will try to break you. The winds will howl. The ground beneath you will shake, and you may feel as though you cannot stand another moment under the weight of it all. But listen to me now. You are stronger than you know. Resilience is not just about surviving the storm. It is about learning to dance in the rain. It is about looking hardship in the eye and saying, I will not bow, I will not break, I will not be defeated. There will be days when you will wonder why the road is so hard. You will ask, why me? Why must I endure so much pain, so much struggle? And to that I say, because you are being molded. The fire that burns does not destroy the gold, it refines it. The river does not drown the stone, it smooths it into something beautiful. Think of the mighty oak tree. It does not grow strong in gentle breezes. No, it is the storm that tests its roots, the wind that forces it to dig deeper, the rain that nourishes it. And so it is with you. Every struggle you endure is shaping you, making you wiser, stronger, more prepared for the destiny that awaits you. I do not promise you an easy road. Oh no, the road to greatness is never paved with ease. There will be times when the load feels too heavy, times when you will want to lay it all down and say, I cannot go on. But hear me when I tell you, you can and you will. Because resilience is not just about standing tall when things are easy. No, real resilience is found in the moments when you feel weak, when you are tired, when everything in you wants to quit, and yet you keep going. You keep walking when your feet ache. You keep fighting when your spirit is weary. You keep believing even when you cannot see the light, because the sun always rises. The night never lasts forever. And if you can endure the darkness, if you can hold on just a little longer, you will see that morning always comes. So the next time life knocks you down, do not ask, why is this happening to me? What is this teaching me? What strength is being built within you? What wisdom is growing in the cracks of your hardship? What greatness is waiting on the other side of your struggle? Because, my dear ones, you were not made to crumble. You were made to rise. And rise you shall. Beloved, hear me when I say this. There will come a day when the world will ask you to shrink, to silence your voice, to make yourself small so that others feel comfortable. Do not do it. Do not bow your head when you were meant to hold it high. Do not fold your shoulders inward when you were meant to stand tall. Do not quiet your truth when it was given to you to be spoken. Courage is not the absence of fear. No, my dear ones, courage is fierce companion. Courage is standing in the face of doubt, trembling but unshaken, but uncertain but unmoved. Courage is looking at the mountain before you and deciding, I will climb. But life will test your courage. Oh, yes, it will. There will be days when the world will tell you you are not enough. Days when you will be told to sit down, to wait your turn, to accept what is given and not ask for more. Do not wait for permission to be great. Do not wait for approval to take up space in this world. The sun does not ask if it is too bright before it shines. The ocean does not ask if it is too vast before it stretches wide. And you, beloved, do not need permission to be exactly who you were meant to be. Now, courage is not just about speaking loudly. It is about standing firmly. It is about choosing to hold your ground when the winds of doubt try to push you back. It is about refusing to let fear drive your decisions. Fear will whisper that it is safer to blend in, that it is easier to stay silent, that it is wiser to avoid the fight. But hear me now. Fear is a liar. Fear will try to convince you that your dreams are too big, your voice too small, your worth too uncertain. But the truth is, you were not made to be hidden. You were made to be seen. You were made to be heard. You were made to leave a mark on this world, not with whispers of hesitation, but with the roar of purpose. So when the time comes, and it will come, when you must choose between comfort and courage, between silence and truth, between standing tall and shrinking down, choose to stand tall. Stand tall in the face of injustice, even when your voice shakes. Stand tall when they tell you to sit down, knowing your truth is worth speaking. Stand tall when fear grips your heart, knowing that courage is not about being fearless, but about acting in spite of fear. Do not wait for the right moment to be bold. The right moment is now. Do not wait for the perfect conditions to claim your destiny. The time to walk in your greatness is today. And if you should ever find yourself standing alone, remember, greatness often walks a lonely road before the world catches up. So stand tall, speak boldly, live fearlessly, because the world does not need another quiet soul shrinking into the shadows. The world needs you, strong, unshaken, and standing tall. Beloved, listen to me. There will come a time, if it has not already, when the world will try to tell you who you are. They will try to fit you into a box, shape you into something that makes sense to them. I will try to fit you into a box, mold you into what is comfortable for their eyes to see. But I am here to tell you today, do not let the world name you. Do not let anyone else define you, limit you, or tell you what you can and cannot be. Your identity is your foundation. It is the ground beneath your feet, the roots that hold you steady when the storms of life rage around you. And if you do not know who you are, the world will try to decide for you. They will tell you that you are too much or not enough, too loud or too quiet, too bold or too meek. They will tell you to change, to bend, to break, so that you can fit into the small space they have made for you. But hear me now. You were not created to fit into someone else's vision. You were created to be whole. When you know who you are, no one can shake you. When you are rooted in your truth, no lie can uproot you. But I will not lie to you, dear ones. The journey to knowing yourself is not always easy. The world is loud and its voices are many. There will be times when you feel lost, when you look in the mirror and do not recognize the person staring back. Times when you doubt your worth, question your path, wonder if you are enough. And in those moments, I want you to stop, I want you to breathe, and I want you to remember. Remember the strength that runs in your veins. Remember the ancestors who walked before you, who dreamed of the life you now live. Remember that your existence is not an accident. Your presence is not a mistake. You were formed with purpose. You were shaped with intention. You were given a name that holds power, a voice that carries truth, a spirit that cannot be broken. So do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not change who you are to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Do not let fear keep you from embracing the fullness of your identity. Because when you know who you are, truly, deeply, unshakably, there is no force on this earth that can move you. When you walk into a room, walk in with your head high, knowing that you belong. When you speak, speak with the authority of someone who knows their truth. When the world tries to tell you that you are not enough, remind them who you are. You are strong, you are worthy, you are more than enough. And as long as you never forget that, no storm, no struggle, no force in this world can take that away from you. So stand firm in your identity, hold on to it like a lifeline. Because when you know who you are, you will never be lost. Beloved, hear me now. Success is not measured by how high you climb, but by how many hands you reach back to pull up with you. This world will try to teach you that life is a race, that the goal is to get ahead and leave others behind. It will whisper in your ear that there is only so much light to go around, so you must hoard it for yourself. But I am here to tell you today, that is a lie. The truth is, your light does not dim when you share it. The truth is, there is more than enough room at the top. The truth is, when you rise, you must not rise alone, because what good is success if you stand at the mountaintop and look around, only to find yourself alone? What good is a feast if the people you love are starving? What good is wisdom if you keep it locked away where no one else can learn from it? No, my dear ones, we are not meant to rise alone. We are meant to lift as we climb. Now, lifting others does not mean you will not struggle. It does not mean the climb will be easy. No, life will still test you, will still throw obstacles in your path. But I tell you this, when you lift others, you yourself become stronger. When you give, you grow. When you help, you heal. Look around you. There is someone right now, who is waiting for a hand to reach back. Someone whose path is harder than yours, whose burden is heavier, whose hope is wearing thin. Maybe it is a friend. Maybe it is a stranger. Maybe it is someone who reminds you of yourself years ago when you needed just one person to believe in you. Be that person. Speak life into someone who has forgotten their worth. Give a word of encouragement to someone who is losing faith. Share what you have learned so that another may walk a little easier on their journey. And hear me now, lifting others is not just about grand gestures. It is in the small things. It is in a kind word, in an open door, in a moment of listening. Sometimes lifting someone is simply seeing them, seeing their struggle, seeing their effort, seeing their pain, and saying, I see you, I believe in you, keep going, and do not think for one moment that you are too small to make a difference. A single candle can light 1,000 others without losing its flame. A single drop of rain can start a river. A single voice can spark a movement. So wherever you go, whatever heights you reach, whatever success comes your way, remember this, your purpose is bigger than you. The road to greatness is not walked alone. The ladder to success is not climbed in solitude. The true measure of a life well lived is not in the trophies collected, the titles earned, or the riches gained. It is in the people you helped, the lives you touched, the souls you lifted, Because at the end of it all, when your story is told, let it not just be said that you rose, let it be said that you lifted others as you climbed. Beloved, hear me today. Life is a road with twists and turns, highs and lows, moments of clarity and stretches of deep, unshaken fog. There will be days when the path is clear, when the sun shines bright upon your face and every step feels sure and steady. But there will also be days, and there will be many, when the road ahead is uncertain, when the night feels endless, when doubt and fear whisper in your ear, telling you to turn back. But listen to me now. Keep going, because faith is not just believing when everything is easy. Faith is holding on when you do not know what tomorrow holds. Faith is stepping forward even when you cannot see the ground beneath your feet. Faith is trusting the journey even when you do not understand where it is leading you. Life will not always unfold the way you expect. The plans you made so carefully may fall apart. The dreams you held so tightly may take longer than you hoped. And when that happens, it is easy to feel lost, easy to feel like the journey is too long, the weight too heavy, the road too rough. But hear me now. Delay is not denial. A detour is not the end of the road. Sometimes what feels like a setback is really a setup for something greater. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually redirection. Sometimes the no you receive today is simply making room for a better yes tomorrow. But you must keep walking. You must believe that even in your struggle there is purpose. You must trust that even in the silence something is working in your favor. The seed that sits beneath the soil may feel buried, forgotten, unseen, but in time it will break through the ground and reach toward the sky, and so will you. Now, faith is not just about waiting. No, faith is about moving forward even when you do not yet see the full picture. It is about taking that first step, and then the next, and then the next, trusting that the road will rise to meet you. There will be people who do not understand your journey, people who will question your path, who will doubt your vision, who will try to plant fear in the place where faith should grow. But do not listen to them. Your journey is yours alone, and no one else needs to understand it for it to be real. So walk boldly, walk even when the road is steep, walk even when the night is long, walk even when your knees tremble and your heart is heavy, because one day you will look back, and what once seemed impossible will be the very thing that made you strong. The struggle you thought would break you will be the reason you rose. The path that felt uncertain will be the road that led you exactly where you were meant to be. So do not lose heart. Do not turn back. Do not let fear steal your faith, because even when you cannot see the way forward is already waiting for you. My dear ones, I have spoken to you today about choice, about resilience, about courage, identity, lifting others, and faith in the journey. But hear me now. None of these things exist outside of you. They are not given by the world, and they cannot be taken by the world. They are already within you, waiting to be awakened, waiting to be claimed. Your destiny is not written in the stars beyond your reach. It is written in the choices you make each day, in the strength you show in times of struggle, in the courage you summon when fear tries to silence you. It is written in the way you hold on to who you are, in the way you extend a hand to lift others as you climb, in the way you keep walking even when the road ahead is uncertain. So as you leave here today, I ask you to remember this. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are not here just to exist, just to survive. You are here to rise, You are here to stand tall. You are here to move boldly through this world, leaving footprints of strength, of love, of purpose. And when the days come, because they will come, when doubt creeps in, when fear knocks at your door, when the weight of the journey feels too heavy to bear, I want you to do one thing. Remember who you are. You are strong, you are capable, you are worthy, you are enough, and no matter how rough the road, no matter how strong the storm, you will not fall, you will rise, you will keep moving forward. You will claim the life that was meant for you, not by waiting for permission, but by stepping boldly into your power. So go forth, my dear ones. Choose wisely, stand firm, lift others, walk in faith, and above all else, never forget. You hold the power to shape your own destiny. Now rise and go claim it.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we learn the art of winning without fighting. There is a power in victory that does not require the lifting of a fist. There is a strength in triumph that does not demand a single blow. The greatest battles are won not in war, but in wisdom. The fiercest enemies are defeated not by force, but by the fire of patience, by the calm of understanding, by the unshaken ground of self-mastery. Hatred is a heavy thing to carry. It burns, it weakens, it drags you down. But when you rise above, when you choose grace over grievance, you leave your enemy powerless, bewildered, standing alone in the wreckage of their own fury. You strip them of the fight they so desperately seek, and in doing so, you stand taller, you walk freer, you shine brighter. Anger is a leash, not a weapon. It tugs at you, holds you back, makes you believe you are in control, when, in truth, it is leading you. It whispers that you must react, that you must strike, that you must give fire for fire. But in the end, it is never the one who shouts the loudest who wins. It is the one who knows when to stay silent. You see, when you let anger lead, you step into the fight your enemy has set for you. You dance to their tune, play their game, and without knowing, you become exactly what they wanted: reckless, emotional, predictable. And when you act in rage, you lose sight of yourself, your power, your purpose. You give them the satisfaction of watching you crumble beneath the weight of your own fury. But when you choose control, when you refuse to let their words shake you, when you do not flinch at their insults or respond to their provocations, you take the fight out of their hands. You strip them of the power they thought they had over you. It is not easy, no. It takes strength to walk away when everything in you screams to fight back. It takes wisdom to understand that silence is sometimes the loudest answer. But tell me, what is more satisfying, to destroy your enemy with your hands or to watch them be consumed by their own bitterness while you walk away untouched? The one who controls their emotions controls the battlefield. Not every fight needs to be fought. Not every challenge needs an answer. Some battles are won by refusing to participate. And there is nothing more devastating to your enemy than realizing they cannot shake you, they cannot move you, they cannot bend you to their level. When you let anger dictate your actions, you make decisions you will regret. You say things that cannot be unsaid, do things that cannot be undone. Anger makes you reckless, makes you forget who you are. And when the storm passes, when the heat fades, you are left with the damage it has caused. But if you master yourself, if you hold your ground, if you refuse to be ruled by temporary emotions, you will walk away with your dignity intact, your peace undisturbed, your spirit unbroken. Look at the great leaders, the wise ones, the truly powerful. They do not throw fits of rage. They do not waste energy on meaningless fights. They do not let their emotions lead them into battles that do not serve them. They choose their wars wisely. They know that real power is quiet, composed, unshaken. When they strike with precision, not recklessness. And sometimes they do not strike at all, for they know that victory is not always about defeating the other, it is about elevating oneself. Your enemy wants you angry because anger makes you weak. It blinds you, distracts you, makes you easy to manipulate. But when you stay calm, when you stay in control, they do not know what to do with you. They expect a reaction, they crave it, they feed on it. But when you do not give it, they are left standing in the emptiness of their own hatred. Do not be the fire that burns uncontrollably. Be the steady flame that cannot be put out. Do not be the wave that crashes violently. Be the ocean that moves with power and purpose. The one who remains calm, who does not let emotions rule their actions, who understands that not every battle needs to be fought, is the one who always comes out on top. So when they push you, when they provoke you, when they try to pull you into their storm, stand firm in your peace. Let them rant, let them rage, let them throw their stones. You, my dear, are made of mountains, and mountains do not tremble at the sound of thunder. Nothing unsettles an enemy more than kindness. Nothing confuses them, disarms them, strips them of their weapons, quite like grace. When they come with anger, expecting rage in return, and you meet them with calm, they falter. When they throw insults, expecting you to crumble, and you respond with dignity, they lose their footing. When they seek to destroy you, but you remain standing, unmoved, unbothered, unshaken, they are left fighting against their own shadows. It is easy to meet hate with hate, to throw back what is thrown at you. It is simple to respond with the same fire, to match their rage, to lower yourself to their level. But tell me, what victory is there in becoming like the one who seeks to tear you down? What power is there in letting someone else dictate your actions, your emotions, your very being? No. Real power is not in reacting. It is in choosing how you respond. And when you choose to rise above, when you meet cruelty with kindness, you take away their control. Your enemy expects a fight. They expect resistance, expect anger, expect you to stoop to their level. When you do not, when you respond with grace, when you refuse to be moved by their bitterness, they are left bewildered. And in that confusion, they begin to lose their own strength. Their fury becomes empty, their words lose their sting, their attacks fall into the void of your unshaken spirit. Do not mistake kindness for weakness. No, it takes the strongest soul to be gentle in the face of hostility. It takes the greatest warrior to hold back a sword when war is all they have ever known. To rise above does not mean to surrender. It means to win without ever having to fight. It means to stand firm in who you are without being pulled into the storm of someone else's rage. It means to let them throw their stones while you build a kingdom with them. Think of the ones who have truly won in this world, not by force, not by violence, but by wisdom. They did not waste their energy on petty battles. They did not let their enemies dictate their movements. They understood that every time you react, every time you let anger take the lead, you give a piece of yourself to the one who seeks to harm you. But when you remain calm, when you meet hostility with patience, when you answer hate with a smile, you take their power and make it your own. Kindness is not about letting them win. It is about showing them that their weapons do not work against you. It is about proving that you are beyond their reach, beyond their hate, beyond their pettiness. It is about making it clear that their words, their actions, their very existence in your life does not hold enough weight to bring you down. And what could be more devastating to an enemy than realizing they have no power over you? Some will mistake your kindness for naivety. Some will see your grace and assume you are weak. Let them. Their misunderstanding is their own burden to bear. But you must know that every time you choose peace over pettiness, every time you choose dignity over destruction, you are not losing, you are winning in ways they will never understand. You do not need to fight to prove your strength. You do not need to rage to show your power. The loudest victories are won in silence, And the greatest enemies are destroyed not with fists, not with words, but with the unbreakable force of self-mastery. So let them come with their bitterness, their jealousy, their anger. Let them throw their arrows, let them spit their venom, and then watch them drown in their own fury as you walk away, head high, spirit untouched, heart at peace. Success is the loudest revenge. Not words, not arguments, not battles fought in anger, just success. The kind that speaks for itself, the kind that needs no explanation, the kind that silences even the most determined enemy. When you rise, when you grow, when you flourish in the face of every attempt to bring you down, you leave those who doubted you with nothing but their own regret. Your enemy wants your reaction. They want your anger, your time, your energy. They want to see you break, to see you stumble, to see you engage in the fight they have set before you. But what they fear most is your silence, your focus, your unshaken determination to move forward regardless of their efforts. Nothing is more unsettling to those who wish to see you fail than watching you succeed despite them. There is no need for loud declarations, no need for threats, no need for proving yourself to those who are not worth your breath. The only proof you ever need is in the life you build. The most powerful response is showing them that they never had the power to stop you, that their words, their actions, their schemes could never shake what is destined for you, that while they were busy plotting your downfall, you were busy building your future. Every second you spend in anger is a second you take away from your progress. Every moment wasted in arguments, in bitterness, in proving a point, is a moment stolen from your own growth. And your enemy would love nothing more than to see you caught up in the distractions they create. But when you choose to rise above, when you choose to keep moving forward, when you refuse to be derailed by their noise, you win a battle greater than any fight could offer. Success is not just about wealth, not just about titles, not just about proving yourself to the world. No, success is waking up with peace in your heart, knowing you did not let the darkness of others pull you into their chaos. Success is standing tall, knowing you did not allow their hate to turn you into someone you are not. Success is living so fully, so unapologetically, so brilliantly that their presence becomes irrelevant, their attempts meaningless. Let them talk, let them whisper, let them doubt, let them wait for your failure. And then let them watch as you rise beyond their expectations, as you achieve what they swore you never would. Let them see you thrive, see you glow, see you walk through life untouched by their negativity. There is no greater revenge than a life well lived, no greater response than undeniable success. But understand this, your success is not about them. It is not about proving anything to those who never mattered. It is not about seeking validation from those who never believed in you. No, your success is about you, about living to your fullest potential, about becoming everything you were meant to be, about standing in your greatness without the need for permission. The world is filled with voices, with distractions, with those who will try to pull you down simply because they cannot bear to see you rise. But your focus must remain steady, your path must remain clear. You do not have time for pettiness, for grudges, for answering every critic who crosses your path. Your time is for building, for growing, for reaching heights that no one thought possible. So let them watch, let them wonder, let them be consumed by the silence of your success. And when they realize that they were never your concern, that they were never worthy of your energy, that their presence never stopped your progress, they will understand that they have already lost. Master yourself, because power lies in restraint. True strength is not in how loudly you can shout, not in how fiercely you can react, not in how fiercely you can react. No, true strength is in the quiet, in the stillness, in the ability to stand firm when everything around you demands that you lose control. The one who masters themselves, who rules their emotions instead of being ruled by them, is the one who truly holds power. Your enemy wants you to be reckless. They want you to react without thinking, to move without strategy, to be consumed by anger so they can watch you make mistakes. They do not fear your rage. They hope for it. They count on it. Because an enemy who is angry is an enemy who is distracted. And an enemy who is distracted is an enemy who has already lost. But when you are calm, when you do not give them the reaction they crave, when you hold your ground without being moved by their actions, they are left powerless. Self-mastery is not just about controlling your anger. It is about knowing when to act and when to be still, when to speak and when to let silence be your voice. It is about understanding that not every battle is meant to be fought, that not every insult is worthy of a response, that not every challenge needs an immediate answer. It is about choosing your moments, not letting them choose you. Look at the greatest warriors, the most powerful leaders, the ones who have truly conquered not just their enemies, but themselves. They did not rush into every fight. They did not allow their emotions to lead them into destruction. They understood that real power is in knowing when to strike and when to wait. That patience is often the deadliest weapon. That control is the greatest advantage. Your ability to restrain yourself, to pause when everything in you wants to react, to hold back when the world expects you to lash out, is what separates the strong from the weak. It is easy to explode, easy to lose control, easy to allow the heat of the moment to take over. But tell me, what is gained from a moment of rage? What is won from a battle fought without wisdom? Nothing but regret, nothing but wasted energy, nothing but a victory so hollow that it was never worth the fight. And so you must master yourself. You must know your own triggers, your own weaknesses, your own tendencies, so that no one else can use them against you. You must learn to recognize when you are being provoked, when you are being lured into a fight that is not yours to win, when your enemy is seeking to control you by pulling you into their chaos. And when you recognize it, you must choose differently. Do not give them the satisfaction. Do not let them see you shaken. Do not allow them to pull you into the smallness of their world when you were meant to walk in greatness. Let them try. Let them test you. Let them push and prod, waiting for your reaction. And then let them be met with silence, with stillness, with a power so unmovable that they realize they were never a threat to you at all. Restraint is not weakness. It is not fear. It is not surrender. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that your time will come, that your response will be on your terms, that your victory will not be rushed. It is the assurance of someone who knows that they are in control of themselves and, in turn, in control of everything around them. The one who masters themselves is the one who wins every time, in every battle, in every aspect of life. And when you walk with that kind of power, with that kind of grace, with that kind of unshaken strength, you will find that most enemies are not even worth your time. Choose wisdom over war. Not every battle is worth your spirit. Not every insult, not every slight, not every challenge thrown your way deserves your energy. There are fights that leave you victorious, and then there are fights that leave you empty. And the greatest wisdom of all is knowing the difference. Your enemy wants to pull you into their chaos. They want to see you react, to see you defend yourself, to see you invest time and energy into battles that were never yours to fight. But wisdom tells you that some battles are mere distractions, designed to keep you from the path you were meant to walk. Wisdom tells you that engaging in every fight does not make you strong, it makes you exhausted. That proving yourself to those who do not matter is a waste of breath. That winning an argument means nothing if it costs you your peace. A fool fights every battle, a wise one chooses carefully. Ask yourself, Does this fight bring me closer to my goals, to my growth, to my purpose? Or does it simply drag me into a place where my energy is drained, my focus is scattered, my spirit is worn? If it does not serve your higher self, if it does not push you forward, if it does not build you up, then it is a battle that does not belong to you. Let it go. Walk away. There is no shame in choosing peace over proving a point. There will always be people who seek to test you, who thrive on conflict, who find joy in dragging others down. But their battles do not have to become yours. Their opinions do not have to define you. Their insults do not have to touch you. The moment you realize that their words, their anger, their actions are reflections of them, not you, is the moment you free yourself from unnecessary wars. Some battles are nothing more than invitations to destruction. They pull you away from the life you are meant to build, the success you are meant to claim, the peace you are meant to protect. And if you are not careful, you will spend your days fighting wars that do not serve you, proving things to people who do not matter, exhausting yourself for victories that mean nothing in the end. But the wise one sees beyond the moment. The wise one understands that strength is not in fighting, it is in knowing when to fight, that not every insult needs an answer, that not every challenge needs a response. That the greatest warriors do not rush into battle. They stand firm, they choose wisely, they act only when the moment truly demands it. Winning is not about defeating others. Winning is about mastering yourself, about knowing where to place your energy, about keeping your focus on what truly matters. Do not let small minds drag you into small fights. Do not let petty people pull you into their pettiness. Rise above, see beyond, walk away from anything that does not align with your purpose. There is no victory in proving yourself to those who will never see your worth. There is no strength in fighting battles that do not push you forward. True power is in restraint, in wisdom, in understanding that your energy is too valuable to waste on meaningless wars. So let them call you weak for walking away. Let them mistake your wisdom for fear. Let them talk. In the end, while they are still caught in battles that drain them, you will have built a life so strong, so full, so unshaken that their words will mean nothing. You will have won, not by fighting, but by choosing wisely. And that is a victory no enemy can ever take from you. Forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. It is the final act of victory, the closing of a door that no enemy can ever reopen. It is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is the ultimate proof that they no longer hold space in your mind, your heart, or your life. When you hold on to anger, when you let bitterness settle into your bones, you are carrying a weight that was never meant to be yours. It does not weaken them, it weakens you. It does not bind them, it binds you. While they go on with their lives unaware or unchanged, you remain trapped in the past, tethered to a battle that has long since ended. But the moment you release it, the moment you let go, the moment you choose to forgive, not for their sake, but for yours, you free yourself. Your enemy does not deserve your peace. They do not deserve your sleepless nights, your heavy heart, your restless thoughts. But you deserve to move on. You deserve to live without the weight of what they did, without the chains of what was said, without the burden of the war they tried to bring into your life. Forgiveness is not saying that they were right. It is not excusing their actions. It is saying that they are no longer worth the space they take up in your mind. It is easy to hold on to resentment, to carry the scars of the past like badges of honor. It is easy to believe that forgiving means forgetting, that it means allowing them back in, that it means letting them win. But tell me, what victory is there in keeping wounds open? What strength is there in drinking poison, hoping it hurts the one who wronged you? No, the strongest among us are not those who hold on. They are those who let go. You have things to build. You have a life to create. You have success to chase, peace to embrace, joy to experience. And none of that can be fully yours while you are still looking back, still replaying old battles, still carrying old wounds. You cannot fly while holding on to the past. You cannot move forward while still holding on to anger. Letting go is not losing, it is choosing yourself. It is stepping into freedom, stepping into light, stepping into a future untouched by the darkness of what once was. There will be those who will never change, those who will never apologize, those who will never understand the harm they caused. But waiting for an apology is like waiting for rain in a drought that was never meant to end. Do not wait for them to make it right. Make it right within yourself. Take back your power, not by seeking revenge, not by proving yourself, but by choosing to no longer be affected. When you refuse to be bitter, when you refuse to let their actions define you, when you walk away with grace instead of hatred, you win. And the greatest defeat for an enemy is realizing they no longer have power over you, that their words, their actions, their very existence no longer affect the way you breathe, the way you move, the way you live, that you have risen beyond them, not by fighting, not by retaliating, but by refusing to be held down by what they did. So forgive not because they deserve it, but because you do. Forgive because your future is too bright, your purpose too great, your peace too valuable to be disrupted by the weight of the past. Forgive because your life is waiting for you on the other side of letting go. And when you do, when you finally release the burden, when you walk away with your head high and your spirit light, you will realize that you have won, not just against them, but for yourself. The greatest victories are not won in battle, but in the choices you make every day. To rise above instead of sinking low. To let your success be your answer, to master yourself so no enemy can shake you, to walk away from meaningless fights, to forgive, not for them, but for your own peace. You do not destroy your enemy by becoming like them. You destroy them by refusing to let them control your mind, your emotions, your actions. You win by living so fully, so powerfully, so unapologetically, that their presence becomes irrelevant. No revenge is greater than happiness. No retaliation is stronger than success. No fight is more powerful than the one you choose not to engage in. So walk forward, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with confidence. Hold your peace like a shield, your wisdom like a sword, and your growth as the only proof you will ever need. You are stronger than the battles they bring. You are greater than the wars they wage. And in the end, you will not just survive, you will rise, you will thrive. You will win. Good luck on your journey. Stay focused, stay strong, and above all, stay true to yourself. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about the weight you cannot see but feel every day. The kind that drags at your spirit, the kind that clings like shadows at dawn. It's the weight of negativity, the poison of poison that say you can't, you won't, you'll never. But I came here today to tell you that you don't have to carry that burden. You were not built for change, you were built for wings. Negative thoughts are like weeds in a garden, leave them unattended, and they will choke the beauty from your soul. They will tell you that you are not enough. They will make you question your own light. But hear me now, you have the power to uproot them. You have the power to say, not today. Not in my mind, not in my life. Your mind is sacred ground. You must tend to it with care. When the world throws its storms at you, plant joy like seeds. When fear knocks at your door, open it with faith. When doubt creeps in, remind yourself your journey is not measured by the voices that say you can't, but by the steps you take anyway. There is a place inside you where all your power lies. A place where your dreams take root, where your strength is born, where your joy finds its voice. But like any sacred place, it must be cared for, protected, and nourished. Your mind is a garden, and what you allow to grow there will shape the life you live. If you let the weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity take hold, they will spread, suffocating everything bright and beautiful in their path. But if you choose to tend your mind with purpose, if you uproot what does not serve you, then what remains will be nothing but strength, nothing but light, nothing but the truth of who you are meant to be. The negative thoughts do not ask for permission. They creep in like shadows at dusk, quiet but certain, finding the cracks in your confidence, the wounds in your spirit. They whisper the words you fear the most. You are not enough. You will never be enough. And if you do not stop them, they will take root deep and strong until they feel like a part of you. But let me tell you something, those thoughts are not you. They are intruders, unwelcome guests in the sacred space of your mind, and you have the power to send them away. You must be intentional about what you allow to grow inside you. Every time you feed a thought, it strengthens. Feed your fears, and they will consume you. Feed your doubts, and they will paralyze you. But feed your courage, and it will lift you higher than you ever thought possible. When you feel negativity creeping in, do not let it settle. Do not entertain it. Do not water it. Do not give it a place to stay. Instead, replace it. When self-doubt says you can't, answer back, I already have. When fear says you will fail, remind yourself every great success was once a risk. When the world tells you that you are small, stand tall and say, watch me grow. Understand this, what you focus on expands. If you wake up every day looking for reasons to be unhappy, you will find them. If you search for proof that you are unworthy, your mind will hand it to you. But if you choose to see the good, to seek the lesson, to embrace the possibility of joy, your world will shift. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you have learned how to hold your power. The rain will still fall. The winds will still howl. But your roots will be deep. Your spirit unshaken. Protect your mind like the treasure it is. Be mindful of what you consume, not just in food and drink, but in words and conversations and the energy of those around you. Some people carry storms inside them, and if you let them too close, they will leave you drenched in their rain. Be discerning. Know when to listen and when to walk away. Know when to hold on and when to let go. The peace of your mind is too valuable to be given away carelessly. And remember, healing takes time. You do not plant a seed and expect a tree the next morning. You do not pull a weed once and think the garden is free forever. No, you must return to it again and again with patience, with love. Some days will be harder than others. Some days the old thoughts will come knocking, trying to convince you they belong. But you are stronger than they are. You are wiser than they are. And every time you choose to reject them, you choose yourself. There will come a day when you look back and realize that the garden of your mind is full of beauty, full of possibility, full of everything that makes you feel alive. And when that day comes, you will know it was not luck, not fate, but the work of your own hands, the strength of your own spirit. So plant carefully, water wisely, and trust that the seeds of today will grow into the light of tomorrow. You were never meant to live in the dark. So step forward, clear the space, and let yourself bloom. Words have power. Not just the ones you speak to the world, but the ones you whisper to yourself in the quiet of your mind. The ones that echo when no one else is around. The ones that shape the way you see yourself, the way you walk through this life. If you have spent years feeding your mind words of doubt, words of terror, words that tell you you are not enough, then it is no wonder that negativity finds a home inside you. But just as you have the power to let those thoughts in, you have the power to send them away. You have the power to replace them with words that build you, words that lift you, words that remind you of exactly who you are. You must speak life into yourself. You must wake up every morning and declare that you are strong, you are capable, you are worthy. Not because the world has told you so, not because someone else has given you permission, but because you have decided that you are. Do not wait for life to validate you, validate yourself. If you wait for others to tell you who you are, you will always be at their mercy. But when you choose to define yourself, when you choose to stand tall in your truth, there is no force in this world that can shake you. Every time you speak, you are casting a spell over your life. Every time you say, I am not good enough, you are building walls around your own potential. Every time you say, I can't do this, you are handing your power to doubt. But the moment you say, I am enough, the moment you say, I will succeed, the moment you say, I deserve happiness, you start tearing those walls down. And once they fall, nothing can hold you back. Do not be careless with the words you speak to yourself. Do not treat them as if they do not matter. Because the truth is, they matter more than anything. Your thoughts shape your reality, and your words give those thoughts power. Speak strength. Speak confidence. Speak love. Even when you do not feel it, especially when you do not feel it. Because the more you speak it, the more you will believe it. And the more you believe it, the more it will become the truth of your life. Some days, the negative thoughts will come louder than ever. They will try to convince you that nothing has changed, that you are still the same person weighed down by fear and doubt. But you do not have to listen. When those voices come, answer them with something stronger. When fear says you will fail, say, even if I do, I will rise again. When doubt says you are not good enough, say, I am more than enough. When negativity says, give up, say, I refuse. It may feel strange at first. It may feel like you are lying to yourself, but you are not. You are simply choosing a new truth, one that serves you, one that lifts you instead of breaking you. And over time, those words will settle deep into your spirit. They will become second nature. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and believe every single one of them. This is not just about speaking words, it is about changing the way you see yourself. It is about breaking the habit of self-sabotage. It is about knowing that you are not your mistakes, you are not your past, you are not the opinions of others. You are who you decide to be. And that decision begins with the words you choose to say to yourself, day after day, moment after moment. No one else can do this for you. No one else can speak life into your spirit the way you can. So be intentional. Be relentless. Let no negative thought go unchallenged. Let no cruel word about yourself go unanswered. Speak to yourself with the kindness, the love, and the strength that you deserve. And when you do, you will see the shift. You will feel the difference. Your mind will become a place of power instead of a battleground. Your spirit will become light instead of heavy. And you will realize that all along the key to your freedom was in your own voice. So speak and let your words set you free. Energy is contagious. It moves through rooms. It fills space. It's into the cracks of your spirit before you even realize it. It can lift you, heal you, empower you, but it can also drain you, break you, hold you down in ways you do not even see. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you entertain, the spaces you choose to occupy, they all shape the energy within you. And if you are not careful, you may find yourself carrying burdens that were never meant for you, weighed down by the heaviness of those who do not know how to carry their own light. You must be intentional about the energy you allow into your life. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every voice deserves a place in your mind. There are people who will feed your soul, and there are people who will deplete it. Some will lift you when you falter, remind you of your strength, pour love into your spirit when you have none left to give yourself. But there are others who will plant doubt, who will thrive on your uncertainty, who will see your growth and try to pull you back down. Not everyone who walks beside you walks with good intentions. Some people carry storms within them. And if you are not careful, they will leave you standing in the rain. You must learn to recognize the difference. Pay attention to how you feel when you leave a conversation. Do you feel lighter, stronger, inspired? Or do you feel drained, uncertain, burdened? Your body knows before your mind does. Listen to it. Protect your peace like it is sacred, because it is. There is no rule that says you must entertain every voice that speaks to you. There is no rule that says you must hold on to relationships that make you question your worth. You are allowed to walk away from anything that does not serve your spirit. You are allowed to set boundaries, to say no, to choose your well-being over someone else's comfort. But it is not just about removing the wrong energy, it is about inviting in the right energy. Surround yourself with people who reflect the kind of life you want to live. People who see your potential, even when you don't. People who remind you of your power, who push you to rise higher, who refuse to let you settle for less than you deserve. Find those who speak light into your life, who make you believe in possibility, who bring laughter, joy, and strength into your days. And when you find them, hold them close. And remember, the energy you give is just as important as the energy you receive. You cannot expect to attract light while you carry darkness. You cannot expect to be surrounded by love if you do not offer it freely. Be the kind of person you want to have in your life. Speak kindness, show gratitude. Lift others the way you wish to be lifted. The more light you give, the more it will return to you. There will be moments when negativity finds its way in despite your best efforts. When the weight of the world presses heavy on your shoulders. When you find yourself standing in spaces that do not feel good to your soul. And in those moments, you must remember that you always have a choice. You do not have to stay in places that drain you. You do not have to hold on to energy that does not serve you. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose peace over chaos, love over fear, joy over misery. Your life is too precious to be spent in the company of anything that dims your light. So be mindful. Be protective of your space, your energy, your spirit. Choose the company that makes you better. Choose the conversations that fill you. Choose the spaces that remind you of all the good that still exists in the world. Because the more light you surround yourself with, the brighter your own light will shine. And when you shine, the world cannot help but take notice. Gratitude is a quiet force, but do not mistake its softness for weakness. It is a healer, a teacher, a guide through even the darkest moments. When life feels heavy, when the weight of uncertainty presses down, when the mind becomes clouded with doubt and fear, gratitude is the key that unlocks the light. It shifts the focus from what is missing to what is present, from what has been lost to what remains. It does not ignore pain, but it refuses to let pain be the only voice in the room. The mind is quick to notice what is wrong. It will count every failure, every flaw, every disappointment as if they are beads on a string. It will remind you of what you lack before it acknowledges what you have. And if you are not careful, you will believe that your life is defined only by struggle, that joy is something distant, something for someone else. But gratitude changes that. Gratitude says, look again, look closer, look beyond the noise of doubt and see the abundance that has always been there. It is easy to be grateful when life is kind, when things go according to plan, when success comes without struggle. But gratitude is most powerful when it is hardest to find. When the road is uncertain, when doors close, when life does not bend to your will, that is when gratitude becomes a choice, a discipline, a tool for survival. So it is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about recognizing that even in imperfection, even in difficulty, there is something worth holding on to. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter even on hard days, the breath in your lungs steady and sure, reminding you that you are still here, still fighting, still capable of rising. Gratitude is not about settling. It does not ask you to accept less or abandon your dreams. It simply reminds you that while you are reaching for more, you must not forget to honor what is already in your hands. Too often we chase the next thing, the next achievement, the next goal, the next milestone, believing that happiness lives somewhere in the future. But happiness is not waiting at the finish line. It is woven into the journey, hidden in the moments we overlook, waiting for us to notice. Make gratitude a habit. Do not wait for grand moments to acknowledge your blessings. Find them in the everyday, in the simple, in the quiet. Wake up and give thanks before your feet touch the floor. Speak it aloud, write it down. Let it be the first thing your mind holds on to in the morning and the last thing it embraces at night, because the more you focus on what is good, the more goodness you will find. Surround yourself with people who remind you to be grateful, people who do not dwell in negativity, but choose to see light even when the sky is gray. Be that person for others. Lift them when they forget. Remind them when they doubt. Gratitude multiplies when it is shared. The more you give, the more it grows. And when life tests you, when the storms come, when the path is uncertain, return to gratitude. Hold on to it like an anchor. Let it be the voice that steadies you, the force that keeps you moving forward. Because a mind rooted in gratitude is a mind that cannot be shaken. A mind that sees not just what is missing, but what is possible. And when you live in gratitude, you do not just survive, you thrive. There are things you carry that were never meant to be yours. Old wounds, heavy regrets, the weight of words that were spoken in anger, the echo of past mistakes. They cling to you like shadows, shaping the way you see yourself, the way you move through the world. But not everything that enters your life is meant to stay. Not every thought deserves a home in your mind. Not every burden is yours to bear. You must learn to release what does not serve you, to let go of the things that no longer bring you growth, to unchain yourself from the past so that you can step fully into the present. Holding on to what hurts will not make you stronger. It will not protect you. It will not prepare you. It will only weigh you down. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying everything you have ever lost, everything that has ever hurt you. With every step, the load gets heavier, the journey more exhausting. And at some point, you will come to a place where you cannot go any further, not because you are not strong enough, but because you are carrying too much. Letting go is not weakness. It is not giving up. It is making space for something better. It is understanding that some things belong in your story, but not in your future. It is choosing peace over pain, growth over comfort, freedom over fear. And it begins with a decision. One that only you can make. You must first recognize what is no longer serving you. Pay attention to the thoughts that drain you, the habits that hold you back, the people who make you question your worth. Not everyone who walks with you is meant to stay. Some people are lessons, not lifelong companions. Some experiences are meant to teach you, not define you. But if you refuse to let go, you will find yourself stuck in a cycle of pain, reliving moments that should have ended long ago. Forgiveness is a part of releasing, not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. You cannot move forward while holding resentment, whether it is towards someone else or the person you used to be. Mistakes were made, words were spoken, things happen that cannot be undone. But the past is unchangeable, and dwelling on it will not bring you peace. Forgive because you deserve to be free. Because carrying bitterness only keeps you bound to what hurts you. Because the longer you hold on to the pain, the longer it has power over you. And once you have let go, do not reach for it again. Do not pick up what you have already set down. Do not allow yourself to be pulled back into the same patterns, the same pain, the same doubts. If you have chosen to move forward, then commit to that choice. Trust that in releasing what no longer serves you, you are making space for something greater. This is not an easy process. It takes time. Some days the old thoughts will return, knocking at the door of your mind, asking to be let back in. But you are stronger now. You are wiser now. You know what you deserve, and you know that you are worthy of peace. So let go. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the fear. Let go of the idea that you have to carry everything alone. Release the weight, release the doubt, release the past. Because only when your hands are empty can they be open to receive something new. And when you finally do, you will understand you were never meant to live in chains. The mind is a garden. Whatever you plant, whatever you nurture will grow. If you fill it with doubt, with fear, with bitterness, those things will take root, stretching their vines through every corner of your being until they become all you know. But if you choose to plant something different, if you choose to water thoughts of strength, of possibility, of hope, then that is what will flourish. The soil of your mind is yours to tend, and what you allow to grow will shape the life you live. Negativity is persistent. It does not need an invitation to enter. It seeps in through cracks, finds its way into the quiet spaces of your thoughts, and makes itself at home. It disguises itself as logic, as realism, as a necessary guard against disappointment. It whispers that things will never change, that failure is inevitable, that happiness is something meant for other people. And if you are not careful, if you do not stand guard over the doors of your mind, you will start to believe it. But the same way negativity spreads, so does positivity. The same way doubt takes hold, so does confidence. The same way fear grows, so does faith. What you focus on will multiply. What you feed will strengthen. This is why you must be intentional. You must be mindful of what you allow to occupy your thoughts. You must be deliberate in replacing the negative with something better. It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the words that circle your mind. Are they lifting you or tearing you down? Are they building a life of joy or creating a prison of fear? Notice the patterns, the repetitions, the familiar doubts that try to convince you they are truth. And when you catch them, when you hear yourself thinking, I can't do this, I am not enough, I will never succeed, pause. Do not let those thoughts go unchallenged. Replace them with something different. Speak life over yourself. Say, I am capable. I am growing. I am worthy of every good thing. Even if you do not fully believe it yet, say it anyway. Speak it until it becomes your truth. Be intentional about what you consume. The books you read, the music you listen to, the conversations you engage in, they all feed your mind. They all shape the way you see the world, the way you see yourself. Surround yourself with voices that inspire you, with stories that remind you of possibility, with people who lift you higher. Do not allow your mind to become a dumping ground for negativity. Guard it as if your peace depends on it, because it does. This is not about ignoring reality. It is not about pretending hardship does not exist or forcing yourself to be positive when you are struggling. It is about choice. It is about deciding, even in the midst of difficulty, that you will not let darkness be your only focus. That you will acknowledge the hard moments, but you will not let them define you. That you will always, always look for the light, and when you find that light, nurture it, hold on to it, water it with kindness, with gratitude, with love. Because the more you tend to the garden of your mind, the more beauty it will produce. The more you choose thoughts that serve you, the more they will become your nature. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and see that your mind is no longer a battlefield. It is a sanctuary. It is a place of peace. And when your mind is at peace, there is nothing in this world that can shake you. Your mind is your home. It is where your dreams take shape, where your strength is built, where your peace is either nurtured or neglected. You have the power to cleanse it, to free it from the weight of negativity, to fill it with light, with love, with purpose. You are not bound to the doubts of yesterday. You are not defined by the fears that once held you back. Every day is an opportunity to choose differently, to think differently, to live differently. Let go of what no longer serves you. Practice gratitude even in the smallest moments. Release the past and trust that your future is filled with possibility. Guard your mind, nourish it, and speak life into it, for it is the foundation of everything you will become. And as you step forward, may your path be clear, may your heart be light, and may your mind always be a place of strength and peace. Good luck on your journey, and thank you. Good evening, everyone. There is something mighty about a person who dares to dream and then walks steadily toward that dream with quiet fire. Some people think that success is a lightning bolt that strikes only the chosen few, but I believe it is something else entirely. It is a soft voice that whispers to you in the dark when no one is watching. It says, keep going. It says, stay the course. It says, rise when it would be easier to sleep. That soft voice, that steady whisper, is discipline. Dreams are beautiful. They are golden threads that stitch together the soul. But dreams alone will not build a life. You can dream of flying, of dancing, of changing the world. But if you do not rise in the morning and show up for yourself again and again, those dreams will sit untouched, gathering dust. Discipline is the daily promise we make to the dreams we hold dear. There is a time when the world seems loud and your voice feels small. On those days, it is discipline that becomes your song. It is what gets your feet on the floor and your heart in motion. Discipline does not shout. It does not dance in glory. It waits in silence. It moves when no one claps. It works when others quit. It is the bridge between what lives in your imagination and what stands in the world for all to see. Discipline is the silent architect that turns invisible dreams into visible reality. You cannot touch a dream. You cannot hold it in your hands, but you can feel it stirring in your spirit. It moves in your thoughts. It visits you at night. It whispers promises when your eyes are closed. And yet all the dreaming in the world will not build a single thing if it is not met with action. This is where discipline steps in. Quiet, faithful, unshaken. It does not need to shine. It does not ask for applause. It only asks for you to keep going. There is something deeply powerful about a person who dreams boldly but walks gently, day after day, brick by brick, laying the foundation for that dream to rise. They do not rush. They do not need the world to understand what they are building. They only need to trust the process. Because discipline works in the unseen places. It is present when the alarm rings before the sun rises. It shows up when the body is tired, but the goal is still calling. It stays when giving up would be easier. It becomes the hands that shape the vision, even when the world calls it impossible. You see, real progress is quiet. It is not always thrilling. It does not always feel magical, but it is real. It is solid. It is the ground beneath your feet after you have taken one step, then another, for days and weeks and years. Dreams are like seeds, full of potential but unseen beneath the soil. And discipline is the daily watering, the daily sunlight, the gentle care even when nothing has yet broken through. It is that care, that patience, that consistency that brings the dream up from the ground into the light of day. There will be times when the dream feels far away, when the results are not clear, when the world is loud with distractions and your energy runs low. But in those moments, discipline speaks softly. It reminds you why you started. It calls you back to your purpose. It asks you to trust what you cannot yet see. Because discipline is not about what happens in one day. It is about what happens every day. It is the accumulation of your efforts. It is the proof of your belief. If your dream matters, then your discipline must match it. Some may think that talent or luck will carry them to success. But I have seen people with brilliance fall behind because they would not stay the path. And I have seen quiet souls, ordinary in the eyes of others, rise into greatness because they were consistent. They showed up when it rained. They showed up when it hurt. They built even when no one clapped. And in time, what they had dreamed became what they lived. Not by chance, not by miracle, but by discipline. So let your actions speak for your vision. Let your habits shape your hope. The world does not need louder dreams. It needs stronger doers. It needs people who do not just dream in the night, but rise in the morning and work for it with steady hands. You may not feel fast. You may not feel noticed. But if you are faithful, if you are disciplined, then what once lived in your heart will one day stand in your hands. That is how the invisible becomes real. That is how dreams become life. Every small act of discipline is a vote cast for the future you believe in. That is what makes discipline so powerful. It may not roar, it may not shake the sky, but every time you choose to stay committed, every time you follow through when it would be easier to walk away, you are shaping your future quietly. Peace. We often imagine that transformation comes in sweeping waves, but the truth is, it comes in whispers, in ordinary moments, in decisions made in silence when no one is watching. That is where the real shift happens. You do not need to conquer the world in one day. You only need to honor one promise at a time, one step, one page, one repetition, one early rise. These things may feel small, even forgettable, but they are not. They are the building blocks of the life you want. The person you become tomorrow is shaped by what you choose today. So when you act with discipline, when you study, when you could scroll, when you practice, when you could rest, when you speak truth, when silence would be easier, you are not just doing a task, you are casting a vote for who you are becoming. It is easy to believe that one missed day does not matter, that one skipped practice, one broken routine, one ignored responsibility will not shape the future. But the truth is, every choice adds up. Every act is a step either toward your dream or away from it. It does not have to be dramatic. The shift is subtle, but over time it becomes everything. The way a river carves stone, slowly but with persistence, so does discipline shape you into your highest self. There will be days when motivation is nowhere to be found, days when the goal feels too far, the road too steep, the result too slow. On those days, you must remember that discipline is not about feeling ready or inspired. It is about remembering your why you started, why it matters, why it's worth it. And then choosing to act, not because it feels easy, but because it's aligned with the future you're committed to. And yes, it will feel lonely sometimes. It will feel like no one understands the weight you carry or the dream you're chasing. But you must remember that greatness is often born in solitude. The most beautiful parts of your journey may not be celebrated at first. You might have to clap for yourself. You might have to keep walking, even when the path is quiet. But in those small, faithful steps, you are casting votes that declare your belief in a better version of you, a better life, a dream worth chasing. People often look at success and see only the glow, the shine, the finish line, but they do not always see the long trail of discipline that led to it. The early mornings, the tough decisions, the countless times someone chose to honor their vision over their comfort. Every single one of those choices was a vote, and each one mattered. Because eventually the future you kept believing in, the one you kept showing up for, it arrives. It becomes real, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you stayed the most faithful. Keep showing up. Keep casting votes for the life that calls you forward. What you do today, even if it seems small, holds the power to shape everything that comes next. Without discipline, dreams remain wishes. With it, they become blueprints for success. So many people live with dreams tucked deep in their hearts, beautiful visions, bright hopes, and silent promises of what could be. But dreams without discipline are like seeds never planted. They may hold all the potential in the world, but they will not grow unless given structure, care, and consistent effort. A dream cannot walk on its own. It must be carried. It must be nurtured. It must be shaped by daily action. That is where discipline comes in, not as a burden, but as a gift. Wishing is easy. It's comfortable. It's sweet. It lets you escape into the what ifs. You can sit in a room and dream about success, about love, about purpose, and feel inspired for a moment. But unless you rise from that place and begin to move, unless you commit to the long path, those dreams will stay in your mind untouched and unfulfilled. Discipline transforms those soft wishes into something firm and lasting. It is what takes the dream from imagination to paper, and from paper to plan, and from plan to something real. You cannot build a house with hope alone. You need a blueprint. You need structure. You need patience. You need to measure and cut, place and press again and again until one day the dream that once floated in your mind stands before you as something you can live inside. That is what discipline does. It gives your dream bones. It gives it form. It gives it the chance to breathe in the real world. Without it, all you have is a castle in the sky. With it, you begin to build something no wind can shake. And the truth is, discipline is not always thrilling. It is often repetitive. It can feel slow. It can feel dull. But it is powerful. It is honest. It will take you further than any burst of inspiration ever could, because it does not rely on how you feel in the moment. It relies on what you believe about your future. When you act with discipline, you are saying, I believe this matters. I believe I am worth the effort. I believe my dream is worth the time. People often talk about passion, about purpose, about talent. And yes, those things are beautiful. They give the journey its color. But without discipline, they are incomplete. Passion may light the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. Purpose may pull you forward, but discipline gives your feet the ground to walk. Talent may open the door, but discipline is what helps you stay in the room and grow. There will always be a gap between where you are and where you want to be. That space between dreaming and doing can feel wide, even impossible. But every small act of discipline becomes a plank on the bridge. Every time you choose focus over distraction, action over hesitation, effort over ease, you are building that bridge slowly and surely. You may not feel it right away. You may not see the full picture, but keep going, keep building, keep showing up. One day you will look up and realize that the dream you once only held in your heart now stands before you, not because of luck, not because of chance, but because you were willing to do the work. You were willing to show up for your dream even when it didn't shine. You were willing to give it shape when no one else could see it. That is the power of discipline. It turns your wishes into blueprints and your blueprints into life. Discipline is choosing purpose over pleasure and progress over procrastination. That choice may not always feel grand in the moment, but it is one of the most powerful decisions a person can make. Every day offers us two roads. One feels easy and light, full of distractions, temptations, and comfort. The other demands more. It calls for patience, sacrifice, and steady focus. The first promises pleasure right now. The second offers progress over time. Discipline is what helps you turn away from the noise and walk the quieter path, the one that leads you toward who you are meant to become. We live in a world that celebrates quick rewards. You are told you deserve rest, entertainment, and comfort at every turn. But the truth is, the life you dream of does not live in the easy lane. It lives on the road paved by hard choices. And sometimes that means saying no when every part of you wants to say yes. It means walking away from the short thrill in order to stay aligned with your long-term vision. That is not weakness. That is strength. That is discipline. Choosing purpose over pleasure does not mean rejecting joy. It means understanding that real joy often comes after the work is done, not before. It means being willing to wait. It means being willing to sweat. It means staying faithful to the bigger picture. You may have to pass on some invitations, limit distractions, hold yourself to a higher standard, not because you're building it, because you know that real fulfillment comes from becoming who you were created to be, not just doing what feels good in the moment. Procrastination is a soft thief. It does not break in with noise. It whispers gently, not today. Just one more break, just a little later. And before you know it, the hours have slipped away, the energy has faded, and the chance to grow has been delayed once again. Discipline is what catches that voice and says, no, I move now, I act now, I stay true to the work, even when I do not feel ready. That is how progress is made. Not in dramatic leaps, but in consistent steps taken when the easier choice is to stay still. And it is not about being perfect. It is about being intentional. You will have days when you fall off track. days when pleasure wins, when procrastination sneaks in. But discipline does not give up after one fall. It stands back up. It returns. It remembers the dream. It recalls the purpose, and it keeps going. Discipline is not harsh. It is kind. It is loyal. It believes in you even when you doubt yourself. It reminds you of what matters most, and it gives you the strength to honor it. The progress you want will not come from waiting until you feel like moving. It will come from choosing to move anyway, from choosing to keep your eyes on the future while working faithfully in the present. It will come from showing up, even if the room is empty, even if the world is loud, even if no one is cheering, because discipline is not about being seen. It is about staying true. It is about saying, I choose the path that leads somewhere. I choose growth. I choose purpose. So the next time you stand at the edge of a choice between comfort and commitment, between distraction and direction, remember who you are becoming. Let discipline guide your steps, and progress will surely follow. Consistency and discipline carves the path where talent alone cannot tread. There is a kind of quiet power in doing what needs to be done day after day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of who is watching. Talent may open doors, it may get you noticed, but it is consistency, the steady rhythm of effort, that keeps those doors open. Many people are gifted, many start strong, but not all of them stay the course. Because talent may start the race, but discipline is what carries you to the finish line, one step at a time. You don't need to be the most skilled, you don't need to be the fastest or the smartest in the room, but if you can be the one who shows up, who keeps showing up, who keeps moving forward even when it's slow, even when it's hard, then you are already ahead of most, because the world is full of people waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they feel inspired, waiting until it's easier. But progress does not wait. Growth does not wait. Discipline teaches you that the work matters more than the mood. It teaches you that consistency is stronger than intensity. One great performance will not shape your future. One burst of effort will not build a life. But 1,000 small acts done with heart, with care, with repetition, that's what creates transformation. It's the person who trains every morning before the sun rises. It's the writer who writes even when the words come slow. It's the leader who shows up when the crowd is small. Those who stay consistent even when the spotlight fades are the ones who rise above their natural talent. Because their growth is not limited by their gifts, it is built by their grit. Sometimes it feels like you're not moving fast enough. You may question whether all this effort matters, whether the routine is changing anything at all. But progress is not always loud. It is not always easy to see. Sometimes it is happening beneath the surface. And only those who are patient, those who stay faithful to the process, get to see the results unfold. Discipline asks for your trust. It says, keep going, keep building, the results will come. And the truth is, talent can fail, it can get tired, it can grow frustrated when things don't come easily. But consistency knows how to weather storms. Consistency doesn't panic, it doesn't quit. It finds rhythm in the routine, strength in the repetition. It carries you when motivation fades, when inspiration dries up, because it isn't about doing great things once. It's about doing the right things often. You may not be where you want to be yet. You may feel behind. But the fact that you keep choosing discipline, the fact that you keep showing up, that alone is powerful. You are doing what many will not. You are showing that success isn't reserved for the lucky or the loud, but for the loyal. Loyal to the process, loyal to the purpose, loyal to the dream. So do not measure your journey by bursts of talent or moments of recognition. Measure it by the strength of your effort, the faithfulness of your work, and the consistency with which you honor your path. Because in the end, it is not the loudest who win, it is those who stayed steady long enough to reach what others only wished for. Dreams spark the fire, but discipline keeps the flame burning through the darkest nights. It's easy to feel alive when you first dream. In those moments, everything seems possible, your heart beats faster, your imagination runs wild, and you can almost touch the future you hope for. But that fire, no matter how bright it begins, will dim unless it is fed daily with effort, focus, and sacrifice. That is the work of discipline. It is what keeps the dream alive long after the excitement fades. There will be days when the dream feels far away, when you wonder if it's worth the effort. You may feel tired, you may feel alone, you may feel like nothing is changing, but discipline stands beside you and says, keep going. It does not need applause, it does not need recognition. It simply stays with you, asking only that you show up, that you do the next right thing, that you keep the fire lit, even if it is only a flicker. Discipline is what carries you through the silence, through the waiting, through the seasons when your dream does not seem to move. While others may give up when the spark fades, discipline teaches you how to burn slow, how to endure, how to walk even in the dark, because not every day is filled with light. Not every chapter of your journey will be filled with clarity, but those who succeed are not the ones who only move when the road is clear. They are the ones who move anyway. And that's the thing about a dream. It tests you. It wants to know if you are serious. It wants to see how you respond when the world does not cheer you on. It asks you to choose it over and over again, even when it offers you no comfort in return. Discipline is the answer to that test. It is the yes you give to your dream every day, not with words, but with action. People talk about passion like it's enough. But passion can be loud and fleeting. It can burn hot and then vanish when things get tough. Discipline is quieter, more steady. It does not shout, it whispers, it waits. It keeps showing up when passion has long left the room. That's why the ones who finish are not always the most talented or passionate. They are the ones who stayed, who tended the fire, who refused to let the light die even when no one was watching. And that is not easy. It takes patience, it takes belief, it takes forgiving yourself when you fall and having the courage to begin again. It takes waking up each day and remembering why you started, even when progress feels invisible. But each time you choose discipline, each time you show up, even when you don't feel ready, you are protecting your dream. You are building something strong. You are keeping the fire alive. So when the nights are long and your energy is low, remember that the dream still lives in you. It may not shout, it may not dance, but it is waiting for your discipline to breathe life into it. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be faithful. Faithful to the fire, faithful to the work, faithful to the dream that still burns quietly in your chest. Discipline is not just a tool, it is a way of living, a quiet force that shapes ordinary people into extraordinary souls. It is the steady hand behind every fulfilled dream, the invisible thread that connects your deepest desires to the life you are building day by day. It asks for no spotlight, yet it shines through your actions. It does not rush, yet it moves mountains over time. In a world that chases quick rewards and instant applause, discipline invites you to walk a different path, a path of purpose, patience, and persistence. So hold on to your dream, but walk with discipline. Let every choice you make reflect the life you believe in. Let every small action carry the weight of your future. And even when the journey feels long, trust that each step is part of something greater. You are not just chasing a dream. You are becoming the kind of person who can live it fully. Good luck on your journey. May you walk with strength, show up with courage, and never forget that the bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built one disciplined step at a time. Thank you.